Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshuruminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Om Namah Shivaya. So, this is the evening satsang. Is it? Or is it morning? I'm going to tell you something so that even once in a year you come for Shivaratri. Once in a year you come for Shivaratri, right? So here is something by which every day, all through life, you realize that it is Shiva sitting inside you. You don't have to come only for a few days. All the time, the presence of Shivam actually is inside you, but you don't realize it. So, to realize that, to understand this, that you carry your Shiva wherever you go, well, no sound. Maybe that speaker there is not working. Now, is there a speaker there? Huh? Because the last time also they said we can't hear. Do something. They'll all attack me. ఏం పని చేస్తూ ఉందా లేదా? Now can you hear? Better. Better. Okay. That's all you can expect in this imperfect world, but try to make it perfect. Good idea. Okay. So, what I was saying, that you come for Shivaratri once a year, consider that you are always carrying Shivam inside you. Wherever you go, it's not just Shivaratri but also Shiva Dinam. So when you say, get up in the morning and say Suprabhatam, then it actually be a Suprabhatam, the early rise of the moon, really good morning. If you understand that the Shiva whom you come to celebrate here is inside you all the time. It is thinking about this that there was a great reformer in Karnataka, North Karnataka and Bagalkot area, who decided that all people should carry their own lingas. Well, they are called Lingayats. He used to give, and now also they give. How many people do it, we don't know. A small little linga made of some herbs and medicines and some resins all rolled into one, which is consecrated and given to all people so that they can carry it with them. In the early days, they used to put a thread and keep it in a box. But yeah. So the idea of this was, this movement was created somebody called Basaveshwara. Popularly in Karnataka they call him Basavanna. So he said, your Shiva is always with you. What happened was, once, in those days when we were so caste bound, imagine uniting the country when we are so caste bound. We can't unite ourselves. A person who is not supposed to enter the Shiva temple entered the Shiva temple. It was a big trouble. They had to do 18 days of washing the temple because this guy entered. And they had to feed hundreds of people, which is good to feed, to make sure that Shiva is not spoilt, that the Shivalinga in the temple is not polluted. So Basava sang, saying, I don't know the exact Kannada words. He said, Shiva, my dear Shiva, I thought, by your one touch and by your one look, the whole world is purified. How is it that your temple has got impure because one poor fellow entered the temple? And therefore he said, if they do not allow you, then have your own Shivas. Worship your own Shiva. So he gave them all a small Shiva. Nobody, I don't know how many practice it. They keep it in the left hand, hold it like this, and meditate on it. I'm not proposing that you all carry that. I don't have that many lingas to distribute. But we are going one step further and saying that there is no time when Shiva is not with us. There is no time. Deep down in the recesses of our mind, of our consciousness, the true reality that sits is Shivam. You should remember this always. When you are about to do something which you think is wrong, say, oh God, He is watching inside me. When you do something good, say, now He is happy. I am doing the archana for Shiva. And when you meditate, fix your attention either in the Bhrumadhya or in the Hridaya and meditate on the linga, which is a symbol of Shiva. You see, linga is somewhere between form and formless. Form, you need to have a perfect form. Diagram, you need to have a perfect diagram. Formless, human beings like you and I cannot meditate upon. Difficult. So then what is the in-between? Linga, a symbol. Symbol is very simple, it's just a piece of stone fitted like this. Now this is the symbol of the true Shivam who sits in our heart. And when you chant, when you sing, it's inside the sanctum sanctorum in you that it shines. I would say the same thing about Sri Guru Babaji. Well, we have a temple here, it's nice. You can go and enjoy it because there are hardly any temples of Sri Guru Babaji. Well, we consider Sri Guru as Adinath. We also consider him as Sadashiva. So while you have a temple, he is also inside your heart at all times. So, when you meditate and say Namah Shivaya or Om Namah Shivaya, your attention should be here or here. If you are great yogis, it can also be here, but generally Bhrumadhya or Hridaya. One advantage also is that when your Shivalinga is manifested in your Hridaya, it is Hri Daya. Is that Hrim Vijakshara, sitting inside and giving compassion. Daya is the center of compassion. So the more you meditate here, the more your compassion grows. Huh? You can't match Shiva's compassion, but we can do a little bit here and there. So this is Shiva. Now, this is the reason why in the Nirvana Shataka, Adi Shankaracharya ends every sloka with Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Now, the word Rupa is used. Now, Rupa means form. So, what form? Here, the form, we discussed Nataraja in the morning. Here, Chidambara, Chitambaram. The form of the Supreme Shivam is Chit and Anandam. In the form of Chit and Anandam. And Chit is the consciousness beyond everything. But fortunately for us, also inside us. Don't think it's only inside us. We can feel it inside us, but it is everywhere. It's all pervading. The very word Chit means that which is not a padartha, not a material, but that which is conscious. Now here I want to go a little deeper with you today. Normally, when we say Chit, we tend to think that it means the mind. Chit. Chitta vritti nirodha Patanjali, which means how to remove the vrittis of the chitta. But to look at it very closely, that what we call the mind, which we misunderstand for Chit, which is pure consciousness, is actually not the mind but the brain. Can you think of a mind without thought? No. As long as thought is there, what produces thought? The brain. Yes or no? Can you think of thought without the brain? If you don't eat for many days and the brain becomes weak, then there's hardly, you're not thinking, you can't think even properly in the proper direction. So, the thing which we call mind is a cluster of thought. It's not a spirit. It is not Chit. It's not consciousness. It is powered by consciousness, but it is actually what power? Like suppose you have a nice computer in which you can do robotics and artificial intelligence and so on. But you need a power supply and a witness for it. That power supply is the consciousness, without which even the brain cannot work. But the thoughts produced by the brain are not consciousness. They are not conscious. They're conscious, but they're not consciousness in pure form. They are created by the brain. So therefore, however much a mind expands, it's still a product of the brain, thought. Therefore it cannot touch Chit. It cannot touch consciousness. It can be conscious, but it cannot touch the essence of consciousness. So what do we do then? Now there is the happy news. That consciousness can touch you. You cannot touch that consciousness. We like to think, we meditate, we make our mind touch. You can, at the most, touch an image created with thought about the consciousness. That's all you can do. Nothing beyond. So, seeing this, what do? We surrender to that consciousness. Say, this is all I can do. Now I surrender. Therefore, if that consciousness has to touch us, it's everywhere. the mind has to become free of brain thought. It has to become still. The so-called thought, even if I say, I am now free of all thought, you're thinking. Who is saying I am free of thought? Me? And who is me? Concocted by the brain, a personality. So, when we understand this and say what we call Chida or Chidakasha, the Supreme, or Shivam, which also means auspiciousness and bliss. Even though we normally project Shiva walking in the cremation grounds with ashes around him from the dead bodies and so on, the meaning of the word Shivam is auspiciousness. Total auspiciousness. Are you this group of people here from Teni or somewhere? No. Where are you guys from? Chennai. In Chennai le paathathe kidayadhu. Huh? First time. Illa na Teni la irundhu yaro vandirundanga. Sari. So, what did I say? So Shivam is auspiciousness. Shivam is that which is beyond our brain thought. Shivam is something beyond what we can concoct with our brain and with our mind. When we realize this, you become quiet. In that quietness, since the mind is limited, it cannot touch the unlimited. If the mind is limited, it definitely cannot touch the unlimited. Why is the mind limited? Because it is produced by thought. Where is the thought produced? From the brain. Right? So, when we realize this and say, this is not the way, this has to quieten down, this cannot take us there, rather this has to disappear. And this includes also all our pride and all the things that we have built up and all the ideas. Oh, I have once somebody went to Maheshwarnath Babaji in Rishikesh and said, you must give me the experience of Shivam. He said, it is not in my hands. Then he said, I firmly believe that it is in your hands. Yogi belonging to the Jangama order, not the Shilingayat, there is a Jangama order also separate. So, all with ashes. So Babaji said, why do you say that you have the license to understand Shiva? He said, because 16 years of my life I have chanted Namah Shivaya, the Panchakshara. It's constantly there in my mind, whatever I am doing. What more can I do to do this? Babaji said, all the chantings that you have done for 16 years, when you sit down today to meditate, roll it all up in your mind into a ball and throw it into the Ganga. Then you will know Shiva. This guy said, this is impossible because it's always running in my mind. He said, that means the chitta is always moving in your mind. If the chitta doesn't become silent, how do you expect to see Shivam? He said, no, it is not possible. And he went off. 6 days later, we met him on the banks of the Ganga, little beyond Lakshman Jhula. And he was sitting and laughing away. So Babaji said, kaise ho? He said, pagal ho gaya hu. He said, pagal ho gaya hu. Babaji said, बहुत अच्छा, यही तो मैं सोच रहा था. तो जब पागल बनेगा तभी समझेगा. You become mad, then only you will understand. He said. So what I am trying to say, is that when it settles down, then there is Shivam. And what is the nature of Shivam? Pure consciousness. And what is pure consciousness? It is also Ananda. Actually, the poor mind and the brain are searching for it all the time. Because built in we know that there is something like that. So constantly we are searching for it. But the search is outside, it is not inside. Look, all of us being sensible human beings will always look for happiness, not for pain, right? Pain or sorrow, it is common, normal, it is normal. But the thing is, you don't find it in that. Anywhere you think, we think we have found, but in a few days it is gone. You think then you have found another one, and that, I'm not talking about girls, it's gone. So this keeps moving all the time. Happiness, the mind really wants to be happy, which is okay, which is fine, which is how nature is. But we never find it. We look for it in all professions, in our ways of life. No change of outside will bring about that inner change. Yeah, we can cut down to minimum so that we are not caught up with too many things. Understand. But that action will not help. The understanding will help. That why am I doing it? So that I need to go beyond this limitation. And that is Chit and it is Ananda. Why Ananda? Anantam Anandam Brahma. That Ananda which is endless, which one does not need to do anything to acquire, which is our true quality, which our reality, which is Shivam. Therefore, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am Shivam, I am Shivam. This is the inner meaning of the Panchakshara Om Namah Shivaya. Otherwise, as a sound, it can be used for many purposes. People even use it for terrible purposes like stambhana and things like that. It makes no sense because ultimately we are all going to be stumbified. So all we need is to touch that inner reality called Shivam, which is in all of us. So therefore all human beings, all animals, human beings, all that is alive needs to be worshipped because you are worshipping in the temple of that Shivam, the all-pervading Shivam. Nobody is outside this orbit. Except only when you realize your utter helplessness in this matter. After constant struggle, then only you can. But you can't say, some lazy fellow says, I can't do anything. Why? Because there is no point. That's not what I'm saying. One really wants, and then one realizes this want gets satisfied when I'm quiet, when I'm not seeking. Okay, let's put it this way. There is something, there is nothing here. There is a banana there, okay. And so, I want that banana. Suppose. Now, don't expect it to float to me, but I want that. I want that banana. And I won't look too much at the banana. I want that banana, and therefore all my mind is moving towards that banana. I want it. Right? What if I realize all the banana, the pot, the stick, the camphor, everything is one, and it is here and not there? If it is there, then I have to move to take it, right? There is a movement from here to there. Think of a thing which is expressed in the great teachings as Ishavashyamidam sarvam, that which pervades everything here. So if it pervades here and if it is here, why do I have to stretch there? So how do I find it when all stretching out stops? When everything is settled, when there is no reaching, it makes sense to reach for something if it is outside. What if it is here and now? How do I touch it when I stop reaching? When I say to the mind, stop, this is not going to help, this is called surrender. Not saying I surrender everything to you, to somebody. That is not surrender. Surrender is when you find that your thought cannot move beyond a certain point and therefore give up and say, okay, I surrender. This is the meaning of Ishvara Pranidhana. Otherwise, what surrender? When I was with Babaji in Rajasthan once, and I don't know what happened to me. I went crazy and I said to him, I surrender everything to you, Babaji, totally. He looked at me curiously and he said, can you see that well there? I said, yeah. Go jump there. I said, but why? He said, you just now said you have surrendered everything to me and you are asking me why. If you had surrendered, where does that why come from? So, people say, I have said, we surrender what is convenient for us and keep the rest. Which is quite all right. I don't want you to surrender your houses and things and your wife, no, not your wife, and all that to me. I don't want. I have enough and more than enough. So, this is the meaning of Chidananda Rupa Shivam Shivam. Now, to touch that is called moksha, not anything else. Now this is what we're testing the brain nowadays to see how it acts when you are in deep meditation. The real consciousness cannot be measured by any instrument. We can only measure the state of the brain in deep meditation and thought in deep. We cannot measure the consciousness because it is immeasurable. There is no scale by which to measure it. While clinically it's a good idea to keep some records of what happens to the mind when you meditate and so on, in the ultimate sense of the term, all these measurements are of no use. It's immeasurable. Being immeasurable, it's also immeasurable love. In Tirumandiram, Tirumular calls Shivam Anbe Shivam. Compassion is Shivam. Love is Shivam. Can somebody measure love? No. You cannot. How can you measure it? If you can measure it, it cannot be love. Oh, do you really love me? Then every day you have to get pakodas for me. So, yeah. And this, when one understands and touches, it's called moksha. Therefore, Shivam is also called Trambak. That means the three-eyed one. Therefore, we have the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. People chant it when they travel, especially on a Tuesday and so on, thinking that it will save us from accidents and things. Let's look at this mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat, which means, oh, that Trayambak Shivam, I bow down to you, I sacrifice myself to you, Yajamahe, I sing your praises, I worship you. Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam, whose nature is fragrance and increase of pushti, which means energy and strength and life. Pushtivardhanam. Uruvarukamiva bandhanan. Just as the ripe pumpkin, when it becomes fully ripe, automatically falls off from its stem. Uruvarukamiva bandhanan, breaks that bandhan and falls off from it. Mrityor mukshiyamamritat, in the same way, save me from death and lead me to immortality. That's unsaid, but save me. Mrityor mukshiyamamritat, give me freedom from mrityu. And the opposite word for mrityu is amrit. Amrit, you get nice amrit to eat, that is one amrit. Amrita means undying, which means to realize the essence of your being is none other than undying, always remaining Shivam, because it is not ever born, it is always there, spontaneous. Anything that is born is to die, definitely. So this is the meaning of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. What is it? Let me put it simply. I bow down, I worship, I chant the name of the Supreme Shivam, who is three-eyed Trayambakam, who has the wisdom eye. The wisdom eye is specially mentioned. And why? So that I may get moksha, freedom from this world of birth and death and miseries. Just as a pumpkin, which when it becomes fully mature and ripe, falls off from its stem and becomes free. This is the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. So, moksha is the essence and meaning of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. And when moksha happens, what is the state of the human being? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Now, don't think that this is possible only for a selected few, or that only great people like Shankara. I am saying this is the time when we should think it is possible for us to do it if we apply our minds, if you desire to. If you don't desire moksha, it's fine. No, I have no problems. You will keep coming every Shivaratri. So when you go, I want you to go with this gift. What is the gift? It's a positive gift. And you can smile. It's a positive gift, which is that inside the core of your being, there is the all. What more do we want? This is all-pervading Shivam, to whom we always go and pray, give me this, give me that, it is with you. For once, direct your attention to the essence of your being. There sits the marvelous supreme being called Shivam, with a trishul in his hand and matted hair with the Ganga flowing. What more do you want? Inside you. You don't have to depend on me for that. All inside. So this is the glorious message that the sages have given to us to be thought over during Shivaratri, because we tend to forget it. Understood? Since we tend to forget it, we have to remind ourselves once in a while. And therefore it's good that once a year at least we remember it. And after many years the remembrance becomes deep, and then one day it's done, you're cooked properly. When people went to see Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Thakur, he would sit with them and talk, and then he tapped them on this and this. But some people he would say, he's cooked. That means ready. Some people he would say, no, not cooked yet. So that cooked, there is a Bengali word for it. Siddho. Now this cooked has two meanings. When potato is cooked, boiled, it's called siddho. It also means siddha. One who is fully cooked and become a siddha. So may you all be siddhas, not cooked potatoes. That's my wish. So now let's meditate for a while. Chant Om 3 times and then quietly meditate for a while and go back with this in your hearts that you are not this miserable human beings, but actually a spark of the divine. That the auspicious Shivam is in your heart or in your wherever center you want to think of, and therefore you're brave and you're courageous and you're not like that. Before I finish, let me tell you, I've told you this before, a story, but it needs to remind people that a baby or a cat, same sound. So, once there were a group of, a pride of lions. It's called, a group of lions is called a pride of lions. That went and attacked in the forest let her stop then. See, if you listen without knowing, you might think it's a cat also. Right? You see? So, a pride of lions attacked a herd of, I don't know whether they're called a herd, of cheetahs, deer in the forest. So when they attacked, the pride also had its own kids and mothers and lionesses and little cubs and all that. So in the melee, suddenly some bisons appeared, so the lions also scattered and ran. One little lion cub was left with the goats. He couldn't run fast enough, so it got left, with the deer. And the lions went up, they ate one or two. Lions kill only when they are hungry. They don't kill like us and keep in refrigerators. Afterwards, they can even, once they are full, for many days, the deer can graze near a lion. They won't attack. So they went off and this little cub was left with the deer herd. Anybody knows what a group of deer is called? A herd? Is it herd or something? Flock. Okay, flock. I hope so. I thought flock was birds, but anyway. Do you know a gathering of crabs, what it's called? Parliament of crabs. You can see it on the Sunset TV every day. So anyway, what did I say? It got left behind. So the deer is by nature a very kind and compassionate little thing. So they found this cub is left here. So they adopted the cub. They gave deer's milk to drink and it started eating the green vegetables and leaves and so on, and grew up, became a lion. After it had become a full-grown lion, since it was brought up by the deer, it also made only deer noises, bah, like that. You can hear it in the forest. So one day, another pride of lions attacked the deer. They ate one, the rest ran, and then they suddenly found there is a lion living among them. a cub which has grown up. So they went to that, the chief lion went to the cub and said, "Hey," he said, "Where?" And it was shivering. Seeing the lion, it was shivering. I said, "Hey, do you realize you're one of us? You don't see it?" He got frightened. We made little noises like a deer. The lion said, "Come with me." He took him to a pond which had no ripples, like a mind with no ripples. All vrittis removed, clean like a mirror, and said, "Look inside, what do you see?" He looked, he said, "Yeah, I look like you." He said, "Yes, you not only look like me, you're a lion. Roar." He said, "How?" To give one shot. Then it roared. Then he said, "Now you realize you're a lion, right? Let's go back. Don't hang around here. Why are you hanging around with these guys?" He said, "Okay, I'm coming with you now. Before that, I'll say bye to my mother and come, dear mother." The story is that we are all lions. Somehow we are living under this great illusion that we are deer or sheep or something like that. We're all roaring lion. Don't go home and roar at anybody. Lion. In the sense that we are actually a spark of the divine. We think that we are mortal, but actually we are immortal. Body is immortal, of course. Keep this always in your mind. Nothing helps other than understanding the fact that Shivam is your true essence. Well, there is no harm if you say Narayana is your true essence. There is no harm. It's only a change of names, mind you. So, that's the message I wanted to give you. So, we meditate for a few minutes. Please understand that inside your pure essence is none other than bliss and consciousness, pure. Meditate on that. If you like, think of a linga, which is a symbol, so that you not get disturbed or distracted by the trishul and the whole thing. If you are interested in that, that's also fine. It keeps you out of the outside world, inside. So first we chant pranava few times along with me, and then just quietly meditate Shivoham, Shivoham. Shall we start? So all these people, Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om. So now I'm going to the temple. Please be seated. After the arati, we will light the dhuni. You can go somewhere if you want and come back, no problem. Bathroom or whatever. You're going to sit here for long, right? So take it easy. Go to the bathroom, wherever you have to go. I'll go to the temple. Soon as arati is over, we will light the dhuni. After that, we will have some bhajans and things and pranams will start. Okay? So, bless you all. Narayana Hari. Namah Shivaya.